Welcome to another edition of 10 Minutes with. Kate is starting the timer today, not like it matters. Speaking of timer, if you look behind, the board is ready to go. We have our top four. Kate, since we can't see that, who is our top four?
Our first place is Hard Court Honeys at 31 minutes and 23 seconds.
I mean, they drove half that show themselves. So that was
In second place, we have the Itinerant Fan, where the Sloth was one of the hosts.
Oh, that's right.
That came in at 22:34. In third place, we have Bryant and Me at 22:21. And in fourth place, we have Air Raid Attack Podcast, which I think DJ hosted on his own and just talked the whole time.
That's right. You were not there.
Yep. And that was at 21:48.
I figured most of those would be where you're not around to keep it moving, but hey, it is what it is. So since we've already derailed the show talking about our leaderboard of people blowing past the 10 minutes, let's go ahead and get into it with our guest. So as you can see by his background, our guest today is the host of Brandon Sports Talk. Please welcome Brandon Pate. Welcome.
Thank you.
Brandon, I was on your show a couple weeks ago. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, everyone out there, please do go check that out on his YouTube channel. So going ahead and getting started, Brandon, why did you start your show?
So I started my show because around here I didn't have much sports to cover. Like nobody was really covering sports in the Wayne County area. So I started locally covering, like, of course, athletes and then coaches whenever I went to games. And then all of a sudden, like whenever it was Corona, it started getting bigger and bigger, getting like college coaches like from Mount Olive University. And then of course now I just interviewed just a few minutes a San Diego women's golf coach. So it's already reaching all the way out to San Diego.
Yeah, it's one of the things I've noticed is you pump these out very quickly, and it's like sometimes you'll pump out 2 a day. I mean, how many episodes do you think you typically do in a given week?
In a given week, I normally do about like 10 to 15, but I do time manage them out. So like, for example, how you said I pump out like maybe 3 a day. Normally what I do is, like, let's say, for example, I had an interview this morning with a coach from Ohio State, and then of course this San Diego person. But on a typical day, I'll get like 3 coaches or 4 coaches on a given day, like typically on a Tuesday. And it'll just be like, I'll put it out, like, let's say the first coaches comes on at 10, it'll be out by no later than 11. Then of course, if it's on if it's on a Tuesday or Thursday, whenever my other podcast episodes come out, I normally put it 3 hours behind that. And then of course 3 hours after that.
I saw Kate's reaction to your number, because we struggle enough as it is to do once a week. And this is like, we're done in 15, 20 minutes. It takes 15, 20 minutes to edit it. And we still struggle to find time to do more than one. And here you are doing 10, which is pretty incredible. So, Kate.
So what should a new listener expect to hear when listening to your show?
So new listeners can expect to hear many colleges, athlete stories, and even coaches. Like, for example, wonderful people like the Ohio State women's volleyball coach, that it was her first year, and she was an amazing guest that came on this past week and stuff. And other people can listen to Sam Logano is going to be out on Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, the voice of the Los Angeles Rams. I'm interviewing him this coming Tuesday.
That's impressive. Did we already ask how you find all these guests?
No, we didn't. Good question.
No, but how I find all these guests is literally whenever it comes to coaches, I go on like their official website. So let's say, for example, Carolina Tar Heels, I'll go on tarheelblue.com, go under the stat.
Uh-oh. We lost him.
I was gonna try.
He's back.
Yeah.
We lost you there for a second. That's the first time. We're on like 30 episodes, and that's the first time that's ever happened, I think. Sorry, you were saying.
But back to what I was.
Yeah.
Back to what I was saying. No problem. So I find like different people on different athletic websites, and I go all the way from like, of course, your athletic director to your supporting staff, like the sports information director that actually is the one that says you can do the interview, you can't do the interview, and all the way down to, of course, I got to get all the coaches from every university.
So especially when you're targeting a university where there's all kinds of goofy NCAA rules and compliance. I mean, you said you go through the sports information director or somebody in the sports information office. I mean, how receptive are they? I mean, do you typically get response? I mean, based on the number of episodes, it's pretty clear you're getting responses back. But I mean, have you had any cases where they just don't respond to you or say, I don't know who you are? No.
Yes, actually today I had one compliance officer literally complain to me because I was scheduled to interview this person on Monday, and then he was like, you have to run things by me, and I was like, I mean, that's their job as the coach to run it by you. I'm not really running things by you because trust me, I email like 10 people or even 30 people in a day like I did today. So I don't have time every time to be like, hey, SID, can I do an interview with blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. I don't have time to do it. So literally he was like, you can't do an interview with this person because you didn't run it by me. And just in the future, if you want to get somebody, you have to run it by me. And to me, I'm like, I don't have time to run things by you. That's their job, as a coach to be like, hey, SID, I have Brandon Sports Talk emailing me, asking me to come on his show. What do I say? I mean, I don't care if you come on and stuff because I'm at this point, I've been used to saying no so many times. It's kind of like second nature to me.
So, Kate, you want to take number 3?
Sure. What's a piece of advice that you would give to a new podcaster?
Well, the first advice I would give, of course, is to go after it and chase your dreams. And then the second advice, whenever it comes to actually getting people to interview and, of course, getting interviews, don't be afraid to send emails, bunches of emails. And do not be afraid, whenever you get your first rejection, because I literally remember my first rejection was with a coach, and I was like, wait, why did I get rejected? I'm just trying to, get your story out there. And then, of course, now that I know, because I always thought it was compliance officers that was the people that was saying, oh, no, you can't do this. And then now, working with compliance officers, I've known that actually compliance officers are the ones saying you can do it. You just can't talk about, of course, NCAA, recruitment, who are you recruiting and stuff like that, when it's actually the sports information people that's the ones that dictate. It's can a coach come on your show or can he not?
And just for the record, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at DJ because he seems to be distracted by his microphone.
No, I was muting the microphone so you wouldn't hear screaming children in the background. So that
was they've made their
Yes, I'm surprised the door hasn't flown open yet. So that's we're doing pretty good here. So, Brandon, I mean it's really incredible that you've what you pull off in a day. I think many of us don't do in a month. I mean, this is really incredible that you number one, you reach out to that many people. You have to coordinate schedules with all these people who are very busy, and you still manage to get these shows recorded, pumped out very quickly. I mean, that's really awesome. I think that is so cool.
Yes, I spend like most of my day up here in my office. Like literally today, I don't think I went downstairs, but for a few minutes whenever I was on break and stuff.
Well, I appreciate the background that you put in your office. Like everyone should just paint their logos on the back wall.
Oh, trust me, this is a backdrop behind me. So this is like a virtual backdrop due to Zoom. I
No,
wish I
don't
had
do
that.
that.
I
Tell
wish
them
I had.
the wall.
I wish I had enough money to get an actual backdrop like this.
Let's get a good professional. They yeah, I was actually looking at that about when we first started doing this, about seeing what a backdrop costs, and I'm like, well, if you put a green screen's actually cheaper, and then I can make the background whatever I want it, or I can just do Zoom, and I can change my backdrop. Do I have any set up? I don't even know what's going to happen here.
I just strategically place stuff behind me.
There you go. There we go. Got Mackey Arena all set up there, so awesome.
Okay.
So Brandon, thanks for coming on the show. Can you tell us where to find your show and your social media?
Yes, you can find Brandon Sports Talk on YouTube, and I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm on Twitter at talk_Brandon, and on Instagram, I'm at Brandon Sports Talk.
Awesome. Again, thank you for coming on the show. This has been very very insightful. I've learned probably more about sports information directors in the last 10 minutes than I have in probably the previous several years. So for everyone else, check us out at stadiumscene.tv. Join the network. Follow us at Stadium Scene on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, and at Stadium_Scene on Instagram. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh my God, we actually kept it close to 10 minutes.